Good afternoon. This is Pamela, and you're listening to Watchman on the Pod. We're going to continue in our Bible reading today in the book of Proverbs. We are on chapter 24, and I just want to remind you that I will be reading from the complete Messianic ALEPH TAV scriptures compiled by William H. Sanford. Chapter 24. Be not envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studies oppression, and their lips talk of mischief. Through wisdom is a house built, and by understanding it is established. And by knowledge are the chambers filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong. Yes, a man of knowledge increases might. For by wise guidance you shall wage your own war, and in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He opens not his mouth in the gate. He that devises to do evil, men shall call him a mischief maker. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Deliver them that are carried away to death, and those that are ready to be slain, see that you hold back. If you say, Surely we knew not this, does not he that weighs the heart considers it? And he that keeps your soul, does he not know it? And shall not he render to every man according to his work? My son, eat honey, for it is good, and the droppings of the honeycomb, which are sweet to your taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. If you found it, then shall there be an end reward, and your hope shall not be cut off. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the habitation of the righteous. Destroy not his resting place. For a righteous man falls 7 times and rise up again, but the wicked are overthrown by calamity. Rejoice not when your enemy fall, and let not your heart be glad when he is overthrown, lest Jehovah see it, and it displeases him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be you envious at the wicked. For there shall be no reward to the evil man, the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. My son, fear Jehovah and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and the destruction from them both, who knows it? These are sayings of the wise: to have respect to persons in judgment is not good. He that says to the wicked, You are righteous, peoples shall curse him, nations shall detest him. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon them. He kisses the lips who give a right answer. Prepare your outside work, and make it ready for you in the field, and afterwards build your house. Be not a witness against your neighbor without cause, and deceive not with your lips. Say not that I will do so to him as he has done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. I went by the field of the sluggard, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns. The face there was covered with nettles, and the stone wall there was broken down. Then I saw, and I set, which means consider it well. I saw and received instruction. Yet a little sleeps, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come as a robber, and your want as an armed man. Number 25. These are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal a thing, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there comes forth a vessel for the refiner. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Put not yourself forward in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. For better is it that it be said to you, Come up here, than that you should be put lower in the presence of the prince, whom your eyes have seen. Go not forth hastily to strive, lest you know not what to do in the end thereof, when your neighbor has put you to shame. Debate your cause with your neighbor himself, and disclose not the secret of another, lest he that hears it revile you, and your reputation be ruined. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold and network of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. As clouds and wind without rain, so is he that boasts of himself of his gifts falsely. By long forbearing is a ruler persuaded, and a softened tongue breaks the bone. Have you found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for you, lest ye be filled with it, and you vomit it up. Let your foot be seldom in your neighbor's house, lest he be weary of you and hate you. A man that bears false witness against his neighbor is a false witness, and a sword and a sharp arrow. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. As one that takes off a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon soda, so is he that sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yahavah will reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, so does a backbiting tongue an angry countenance. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a contentious woman in a wide house. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. As a troubled fountain and a corrupted spring, so is a righteous man that gives way before the wicked. It is not good to eat much honey, so for men to search out their own glory is grievous. He whose spirit is without strength is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Number 26. As snow in summer and as rain in harvest, so honor is not seemingly for a fool. As the sparrow in her wanderings, as the swallow in her flying, so the curse that is causeless enlightens not. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. He that sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off his own feet and drinks in damage. The legs of the lame hang loose, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. As one that binds a stone in a sling, so is he that gives honor to a fool. As a thorn that goes up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. As an archer that wounds all, so is he that hires a fool, and he that hires them that pass by. As a dog that returns to his vomit, so is a fool that repeats his folly. See you a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. The sluggard says there is a lion in the way, a lion is in the streets. As the door turn upon its hinges, so does the sluggard upon his bed. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish, it wearies him to bring it again to his mouth. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. He that passes by and vexes himself with strife belongeth not to him, is like one that takes a dog by the ears. As a madman who casts firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man that deceives his neighbor and say, I was only joking. For lack of wood and fire goes out. Where there is no whisper, contention ceases. As coals are too hot embers, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to inflame strife. The words of a whisperer are as dainty morsels, and they go down into the innermost parts. Fervent lips and a wicked heart are like an earthen vessel overlaid with silver dross. He that hates disguises with his lips, but he lays up deceit within him. When he speaks fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred covers itself with guile, his wickedness shall be openly showed before the assembly. Whoever digs a pit shall fall in it, and he that rolls a stone, it shall return upon him. A lying tongue hates those who it has wounded, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Number 27. Boast not yourself of tomorrow, for you know not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy and the sand weighty, but a fool's grief is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is overwhelming, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than love that is hidden. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The full soul loathes the honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wanders from her nest, so is a man that wanders from his place. Oil and perfume rejoice the heart, so does the sweetness of a man's friend that comes of hearty counsel. Thine own friend and your father's friend forsake not, and go not to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproaches me. And a prudent man sees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and suffer for it. Take his garment, that is surety for a stranger, and hold him in pledge, that is surety for a foreign woman. He that blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. A continual dropping in a very rainy day, and a contentious woman are alike. He that would restrain her restrains the wind, and his right hand encounters oil. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Whoever keeps the fig tree shall eat the fruit there, and he that regards his master shall be honored. As in water face answer to face, so the heart of man to man. Sheol and Abaddon, which is destruction, are never satisfied, and the eyes of man are never satisfied. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, and a man is tried by his praise. Though you should grind a fool in a mortar with a pedestal along with bruised grain, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Be you diligent to know the state of your flocks, and look well to your herds, for riches are not forever. And does the crown endure to all generations? The hay is carried, and the tender grass shows itself, and the herbs of the mountains are gathered in. The lambs are for your clothing, and the goats are the price of the field. And there will be goat's milk enough for your food, for the food of your household, and maintenance for your maidens. 28. The wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes there. But by men of understanding and knowledge, the state there shall be prolonged. A needy man that oppresses the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaves no food. They that forsake the Torah praise the wicked, but such as keep the Torah contend with them. Evil men understand not justice, but they that seek Yahavah understand all things. Better is the poor that walks in his integrity than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoever keeps the Torah is a wise son, but he that is a companion of gluttons shames his father. He that increases his substance by interest and extortion gathers it for him that has pity on the poor. He that turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the upright to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the perfect shall inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that has understanding searches him out. When the righteous triumph, there is great beauty, but when the wicked rise, men hide themselves. He that covers his transgressions shall not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them shall obtain mercy. Happy is the man that fears always, but he that hardens his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over a poor people. The prince that lacks understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hates covetousness shall prolong his days. A man that is laden with the blood of any person shall flee to the pit, let no man help him. Whoever walks uprightly shall be delivered, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tills his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that follows with vain persons shall have poverty enough. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that makes haste to be rich shall not go unpunished. To have respect of persons is not good, neither that a man should transgress for a piece of bread. He that has an evil eye hastens after riches, and knows not want shall come upon him. He that rebukes a man shall afterward find more favor than he that flatters with the tongue. Whoever robs his father or his mother and says, "It is no transgression," the same is the companion of a destroyer. He that is of a greedy spirit stirs up strife, but he that puts his trust in Yahavah shall be made fat. He that trusts in his own heart is a fool, but whoever walks wisely, he shall be delivered. He that gives to the poor shall not lack, but he that hides his eyes shall have many a curse. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. I'm going to read one more. Chapter 29. He that is often reproved hardens his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. When the righteous are increased, the people rejoice, but when a wicked man bears rule, the people sigh. Whoever loves wisdom rejoices his father, but he that keeps company with harlots wastes his substance. The king by justice establishes the land, but he that exacts gifts overthrows it. A man that flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his steps. In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous sing and rejoice. The righteous take knowledge of the cause of the poor. The wicked has not understanding to know it. Scoffers set a city in a flame, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man has a controversy with a foolish man, whether he is angry or laugh, there will be no rest. The bloodthirsty hate him that is perfect, and as for the upright, they seek his life. A fool utters all his anger, but a wise man keeps it back and stills it. If a ruler listens to falsehood, all his servants are wicked. The poor man and the oppressor meet together. Yahweh lightens the eyes of them both. The king judges in truth the poor. His throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself causes shame to his mother. When the wicked are increased, transgression increases, but the righteous shall look upon their fall. Correct your son, and he will give you rest. Yes, he will give delight to your soul. Where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint, perish. But he that keeps the Torah, happy is he. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understands, he will not give heed. See you a man that is hasty in his words? There is more hope of a fool than him. He that delicately brings up his servant from a child shall have him become a son at the last. An angry man stirs up strife, and a wrathful man abounds in transgression. A man's pride shall bring him low, but he that is of a lowly spirit shall obtain honor. Whoever is partner with a thief hates his own soul. He swears to tell the truth, but reveals nothing. The fear of man brings a snare, but whoever puts his trust in Yahweh shall be safe. Many seek the ruler's favor, but a man's judgment comes from Yahweh. An unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and finish this. We're almost done. Chapter 30. The words of Agur, the son of Jakeh, the oracle. The man says to Ithil, you call. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. And I have not learned wisdom, neither have I the knowledge of the Holy One. Who has ascended up into heaven and descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fist? Who has bound the waters in his garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if you know? Every word of Eloi is tried. He is a shield to them that take refuge in him. Eloah, I think it is Eloah, is tried, okay. Add you not to his words, lest he reprove you, and you be found a liar. 2 things have I asked from you. Deny me not before I die. Remove far from me falsehood and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is needful for me, lest I be full and deny you and say, Who is Yahweh? Or lest I be poor and steal and use profanely the name of my Elohim. Slander not a servant to his master, lest he curse you and you be held guilty. There is a generation, their father they curses, and their mother they bless not. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet are not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among the men. The leech has 2 daughters, crying, Give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied, yes, 4 that say not enough. Sheol, the barren womb, the earth that is not satisfied with water, and the fire that says not enough. The eye that mocks at his father and despises to obey his mother. The ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. There are 3 things that are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not: the way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maiden. So is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness. For 3 things the earth does tremble, and for 4 which it cannot lift up, which means bear. For a servant when he is king, and a fool when he is filled with food. For a hateful woman when she is married, and a handmaiden that is heir to her mistress. There are 4 things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they provide their food in the summer. The rock badgers are but a feeble folk, yet make their houses in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet they go forth all of them by bands. The lizard takes hold with her hands, yet she is in kings' palaces. There are 3 things which are stately in their march, yes, 4 which are stately in going: the lion, which is mightiest among beasts, and turn not away for any; the greyhound, the he-goat also, and the king against whom there is no rising up. If you have done foolishly in lifting up yourself, or if you have thought evil, lay your hand upon your mouth. For the churning of milk brings forth butter, and the wringing of the nose brings forth blood. So the forcing of wrath brings forth strife. Proverbs 31. The words of King Lemuel, the oracle which his mother taught him. What, my son? And what, O son of my womb? And what, O son of my vows? Give not your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes to say, Where is strong drink? Lest they drink and forget the decree, and pervert the justice due to any that is afflicted. Give strong drink to him that is ready to perish, and wine to the bitter in soul. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are left desolate. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and minister justice to the poor and needy. A worthy woman, wife, who can find it? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he shall have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her bread from afar. She rises also while it is yet night, and gives food to her household and their tasks to her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She girded her loins with strength, and makes strong her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp goes not out by night. She lays her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She stretched out her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She makes for herself carpets of tapestry. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and delivers girdles to the merchants. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the Torah of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and eats not the bread of idleness. She's not lazy. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her, saying, Many daughters have done worthily, but you excel them all. Grace is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears Yahweh, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Praise God. You see, she won't boast of herself, but others will sing her praises. That is so important for us to understand. We do not need to boast. You know what? It's not us that could do anything anyway. It is God in us that does all things. Praise God. I love you all. That concludes the book of Proverbs. Next time, I'm not exactly sure what book we're going to begin in. I can't tell you. God knows I don't. But we will continue in the book of Acts next time. I love you all so very much. Keep your eyes on Jesus, your nose in the book, which is the Word of God, and embed the Word of God upon the tablets of your hearts so you will not sin against God or be deceived. I love you all so very much. You be blessed this Sunday.